Hola, 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 ¿cómo están, mis amores? ¿Cómo están haciendo? ¿Cómo le está yendo la semana? Y no fin de semana porque hoy es lunes. But how are you doing nonetheless? I don't know why I thought that we were still, like today was Sunday. I was like, how's your weekend going? I was like, no, girl, no, today's Monday. It's like, what planet are we on right now? I can barely keep up with if we're still on planet Earth with all the drama and all the craziness that's out there. Y'all, oh my God, it is so crazy out there. It's like wild, wild west outside of my house and outside of my environment and routine and safe space. I'm looking outside that window and I'm like, what is going on? Like, I don't even understand. By the way, good news. So these robes, I've decided I'm sold. Okay. They will be coming up on my website soon. These are literally have to be the best. I have one in just about every single color. So I can't wait. I will keep you guys posted on when that comes on the website because I'm going to need y'all. Like you could try it and tell me, okay? I'll give you a chance to try it and tell me because it's like crazy. But anyway, the tea is more than tea. It is literally one of the craziest. I don't even know what to say. It's like it just keeps getting worse with Diddy and Cassie. It's like the things that I'm hearing, I cannot believe. Like I can't even fathom. But let me do quick introductions, right? So, hi. Welcome to IPGG, Independent Pretty Girlies Group. Here we talk about, we keep up with the stories and especially high profile stories, right? High profile celebrities, or even just topics that are really important for us to stay up to date on and for us to learn from. And we take a look at those stories from every aspect, from a psychological aspect, from a biological aspect, from an economic aspect. We take a full 360 dive to take a look at the different perspectives within and what those situations entail and why, from a behavioral standpoint, these things might be happening or whatever happened. So welcome. Okay. This is a women's only group because I just don't vibe with males. If you haven't noticed by all my other content, it's like they are just, they hate women. I'm convinced that they really, really do not like women. Males don't like women. And I'm tired of everyone calling them men. It's like, these are not men, these are males. Even I sometimes, because the rhetoric, everyone's saying men. I'll say men and I'll have to catch myself, go back and fix the problem. Like not men, males. Because even I sometimes will make the mistake and call them men instead of what they are, which is males. But these males are out of control. They're out of control, y'all. So I was on YouTube, of course, getting my nails done, getting my feet done. And you know what won't stop getting worse? And the story that keeps coming up, Cassie and Diddy. And I said to myself, I cannot wait for this lady to get done doing my nails and my feet, because it was two different ladies, because I need to run home and turn on the camera. I need to run home and turn on the camera and watch this with you all, because y'all, you see, I got my drink. I'm like, I try to tell y'all, stay away from these males. I try to tell y'all, stay away from them. And if you find one that has money, you need to understand that that's barely the first step. It's like the bare minimum. Them having money, them being rich, them being millionaires or whatever. That's like the bare minimum of what they have to have. It doesn't, you don't just, oh, they're rich and that's all, right? It's the bare minimum. Y'all, the tea, when I tell you I couldn't watch this by myself, I was like, I can't even watch this by myself. It's not possible. Like, I need to get home and turn on the camera and watch it with y'all. I need to get home and watch it with my group because this is insane. So let's dive right in. Okay. The first thing that I want us to take a look at is there's an update. There's a few updates actually, but one of the biggest updates is that 50 Cent has now spilled some super dark-ish when it comes to Diddy and the industry as a whole, but especially Diddy and things that he did to Cassie. And I want us to take a look and hear what's going on here. So y'all, let's go ahead and just jump right in because I don't even have the words. I don't got the words. So let's see. I don't know what's going on with the world today. I don't know what's going on. All right. So let's see what's going on, y'all.
Remember those home movies that Cassie talked about in her report? Baby, it's actually been confirmed. He since has exposed Diddy. But you're not going to believe for what? Okay, maybe you will. Spoiler alert, it's about Cassie. But baby, he is accusing Diddy of showing him. Remember those home movies that Cassie talked about in her report? Baby, it's actually been confirmed. But not only that, it has been confirmed that Diddy, at least how I see it, has been using Cassie as a honeypot. He was circulating home movies of the Kim K, Ray J variety that he made of Cassie to lure other people to him, other men. 50 Cent, he's been trying, it seems like, to get that honeypot going, but 50 Cent wasn't down with it. I have the audio of 50 confirming. You are not going to believe that. But what's more,
y'all, I can't believe what I just heard. Like, I'm telling you, I was sitting at the nail. Y'all like my bow? I was sitting at the nail shop listening to this and I was like, ooh, hurry up, ladies. I gotta go home and turn on this camera. Can you believe what you're hearing right now? Like, so this is what males do. That's why I tell you, ladies, we own everything. They can't create anything. They literally can't create anything good or useful or worthwhile without a woman. So he's been using her. To get what he wants and get what he needs because he can't. There's no way and no world in which he could have ever done that on his own and by his own merits. No.
This literally does make it seem like Cassie's claims, I already believe them, are 100% true. Y'all, this is on some eyes wide shut. This is on some Taken. This is on some mess that I have never seen.
It's on some Taken. Y'all ever seen that movie Taken? It's even worse. Because I think in the movie Taken, they took her, but I don't know that all this was happening. They kept her captive, and it's giving me Taken vibes. It's giving me Get Out vibes. Y'all seen Get Out? It's giving me Get Out vibes, y'all.
Also, we're going to go back into Cassie's complaint because being what it's 35 pages. I read it on the live. Go check it out. But let's actually talk about certain versions of the complaint that I'm going to pull out that I think a lot of people looked over. Y'all, the biggest thing is, you know, those freak offs that he literally had Cassie doing. Y'all, there is evidence that not only was he using it as a honeypot to bring other men to him, i.e. 50 cents, but also that he was live streaming it. And it wasn't just something for his, Cassie didn't realize it, but it wasn't just something for his amusement. Who was the person that needed to see it? Why did they need a constant rotation of new men?
Y'all, This is why I warn you against going into the music industry, the film industry, anything that has to do with Hollywood. Forget it. Forget it. So allegedly now Cassie didn't even know. He was filming her, but on a live with his phone. And there was someone else on the other end watching. And you know what? If I had to guess, I would say it was probably a different person each time. And he probably had Puffy, whatever his name is, probably had like frequent customers. It was probably not, and there probably would be other times where it wasn't just one person watching. How much do you want to bet? How much do you want to bet? She's thinking, oh, who was on the other side? I don't think it's a who. I don't think it's a singular thing. I think he made it like a whole business type of thing. And he probably had frequent clients that would come on to see and watch.
And he was
Allegedly.
putting on a show, and Cassie, a ritualistic show that Cassie didn't even realize. Let me give you guys a sample, right? In the actual documents, well, I'll dive in deeper later after we hear what 50 Cents have to say. It said during the FOs, the free calls, I'll explain what that is. In addition to Cassie and the blank workers, Diddy would use his phone, laptop, and tablet, all devices that are streaming. He didn't use a regular camera to film Cassie having blank with the hired blank workers. He treated the forced encounter as a personal art project, adjusting the candles he used for lighting to frame the videos he took. The candles, y'all, if that don't sound ritualistic, I don't know what is. But yo, there's more. There is more. It paints a picture that Puffy was filming Cassie in ritualistic blank acts, filming it and then circulating them to other powerful men without Cassie's knowledge, because he told her this is just our secret, nobody will see it, but also to lure other men in the industry to come to Diddy's freak offs. Because at the end of the day, it is looking more and more likely that what Cassie's husband said about Diddy is true. Diddy likes men. He only keeps a beautiful Barbie doll around as a honeypot, and he mistreats them. He
gay. Allegedly, from what this is, he gay. I believe it. I think it is 100% true. I think he's 100% gay, completely. And I think for the most part, every male in Hollywood is gay. Completely. Which, let me tell you, I don't even have a problem with, and no one really has a problem with. You know what the problem is? The problem is they won't admit it, and they keep trying to use women as though we are objects to be toyed with, and they keep trying to use us to keep up whatever facade that they're trying to keep up with. It's like, if you're gay and you enjoy being with other males, leave us out of it. Why are you lying? Why are you trying to use women to cover up the fact that you're gay? I 100% believe Cassie. There's no way any of that stuff could be made up in my mind. There's no way. The amount of detail, the proof, which I know she has more proof. Y'all need to wait till there's another video that is coming out soon. Y'all will see what I'm talking about, because more and more people have been coming and speaking out. So Cassie, I think, has way more proof. If I had to say, based on what we've been hearing, I would assume that she, at some point, probably because of Puffy's, whatever his name is, ex, the one that all of a sudden died of pneumonia. I think she might have advised Cassie to start taking pictures, to start taking notes, to start keeping evidence so that she could start protecting herself from this animal. Y'all, I cannot.
Mistreats them. Y'all, let's get into this. First of all, let's get into what 50 has to say. Also, if you want the
And ritualistic, I'm not surprised. I think that in Hollywood, they practice rituals. I don't think, I know. And they probably do it primarily because of the psychological effect. It's like indoctrinating someone, right? The need for power and control is so surreal there that and they're all so toxic is an understatement. The ones that have money, they just have to feel like they can control everything that you do. And how else are you going to subdue another creature or human being, except for if not mentally and psychologically? Well, how do you get to the mental? How do you get to the psychology? Well, by making them perform unthinkable acts, right? So they start viewing themselves in a certain way. You start breaking down their self-worth, their ability to build self-confidence. You know, all of these things you start tearing apart. This is crazy.
full 35-page 35-page complaint, I actually go through it in detail, give legal analysis. There's legal analysis on it, blah, 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 blah. But we're going to pull out the most important parts for this conversation. But first, let's let 50 talk, and then we can get into everything else. Y'all, sound up.
Well, we should kick it on telephone and shit after the main shit.
Right.
And be like, matter of fact, they sent me the girl pictures, like pictures of this girl, like not the shit that y'all saw. Worse, way worse.
Wow.
Oh, you kidding me, yo?
Like penetrations and
Nah, come on, man. Come on, Phil.
all that. And I didn't even. I called to say, yo, this girl, like you really, like you like her like that? And he was like, yeah, that's my girl. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna send you something. You look at it, you call me back. I sent them the photos, the pictures, and everything. And was like, yo, thanks, man. Yo, I really appreciate that. Yo, where you get these shit from? And I said, you know, like, because they know, like, if something crazy is going on, if they send it to me, I'll make sure it get out there. Like, as far as this 50.com is concerned.
Yeah, yep.
And those other properties. So they sent it to me. But, you know, I really kind of felt like those photographs was not happening because of Cassie. I felt like they was happening because of Puffy.
Right. Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because when a girl moves from a man and she upgrades, niggas be insecure. You know what I'm saying? They start feeling some kind of way, especially like whoever the guy was she was with in the photos versus where Puffy's at. Because Puffy's, he ain't no slacker. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he's been able to take advantage of all the suckers.
So where did it go wrong though? Because I know y'all was cool. Like, where did the term?
So, ladies, did you hear that? First of all, I want you to notice how calm 50 was talking about this in such a calm manner, almost like it's just natural. It's normal. It's how the world works over there in Hollywood. It's a part of, it's like eating and breathing is for us. It's nothing new, it's not anything. It's like a part of how it works, and everyone knows it, and everyone enjoys it, and everyone plays a role in it. That's how he was sounding. It was just like, it's like, oh, so if you're thinking, oh, I want to go to Hollywood, I want to be a singer, I want to do this, I want to do that, I strongly would advise for you to think multiple times on that decision. I don't know who might be hearing this. I'm just saying. But that's the first thing. His tone, the way he was talking about it, the way he referred it. And, you know, he even said something like, yeah, because they know that if they send me something, I'm going to make sure it gets out. I don't know what that means. Like, gets out how? Like, to other rich people that might want to see more and pay for it? Or, like, I'm not sure what he was referring to there either. The other thing, did y'all notice that he described exactly what I tried to teach y'all in so many of my videos? Males are vile and hateful by nature, right? You cannot do something like this to another human being without literally being a complete monster. Literally a monster, literally the epitome, the physical manifestation of evil. That's what these males are. And when they have money, it seems like it just gets amplified. Because now, in addition to having the evil, they have resources to act on that. You know, then, so 50 also told us and reinforced what we learn on this channel. They are jealous of you. They don't even like women. They literally don't. Every male in Hollywood is gay. Diddy, Will Smith, what's his name? Usher. They're all gay. They don't even like women. They literally, not only do they not like women, but they literally hate women. Males do. Males hate women. So even 50 confirms this. So 50 confirms it because he said something like, you know how they are when you level up, you know, they get super insecure and upset about it. It's basically what he said. Why would you get super insecure or upset if someone found a better fit for themselves? Because you don't want anyone, you don't want women to be happy. You don't want her to be happy. You're full of hate and evil. So you're circulating sexual videos of her, and she might not even have known that. So these males know what they're doing. That's why I tell you, they lie as easily as they breathe. Don't believe or trust anything that they say to you ever.
I don't know what made him name that group that. That's what made me
Supreme
say
Team.
what
Oh, okay, Supreme Team. And then it was like, yo, why you do, like, why?
All right. There you go. Out of 50's mouth completely. Do you
Crazy. Out of 50's mouth completely. I wonder, it's like I can't even keep up with the amount of stories, especially the stories that are coming out on Cassie. I can't even keep up. This is the most videos that I've ever done. Because alongside the other videos that I had planned to make, I'm trying to keep up with this news on Cassie. And every hour, something new is coming out on it. Y'all.
You see what he said, right? Let's just walk through it really quick before we actually get into the complaint where we talk about the ritualistic filming. And it's some eyes wide shut ritualistic stuff, right? What did he say? He started getting videos were sent to him about Cassie, showing the Kim Kardashian superstar type of video, right? Fine. he literally I'm sorry, 50 says, yo, you know, when people send me stuff, you know me, I don't keep any secrets. He just lets that chopper sing. So he literally was like, but Diddy was like, yo, you like that girl? Like, what? He's like, yeah, I love her. That's my girl. And he's like, all right, bet, let me show you something. And he showed him graphic film, graphic. And he said, it's not the stuff that y'all saw. Again, everybody's laughing because everybody saw it. They're like, it's not the stuff y'all saw. It was graphic. It was crazy. Some stuff in there. You see that, right? And then he says that Diddy was like, yo, word, where'd you get that? Everybody starts laughing. Why did everybody start laughing? Because it was a worst kept secret in the industry that Diddy would make those videos of Cassie and circulate it around. Why? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. But let me tell you what my guess is. He was using her as a honeypot. 2, he was using that to barter and trade favors. 3, he was trying to humiliate her and subjugate her. And like he said in the complaint, which we're about to get into, you can't go anywhere. You can't, because it's going to come back to, you know, he basically said, like, you know, I'll ruin your reputation, or implied something like that. Okay. Everybody in the room laughed, y'all. How scary.
Everyone in the room laughed. And who's everyone? Because I don't think there were any females in that room. I don't think there were any women in that room. And she mentioned it's probably because it was a well-kept secret in Hollywood that he would do this to her with her videos. I would go 10 steps further to say it's a well-kept secret in Hollywood that it's the norm to do this and use women for these type of things. Y'all, that's what this story is doing to me. Okay. So I was almost out. I was already almost out, y'all. So that's why. But I would go 10 steps further to say it was a well-kept secret, and it is a well-kept secret that it's the norm in Hollywood to use, bully, and harass women in this way, to physically harm and mentally destroy women in this way. They were laughing because it's not a secret. Psychologically, when you're puzzled about something, when you're surprised about something, when you didn't see something coming because you didn't know that you didn't have any inkling of something like that even happening, the first response psychologically is not laughter. It's not laughter. It's not laughter.
Scary is this? Because everybody had seen it. And then with Puffy being like, yo, where'd you get that? It was just like, ha, ha, ha. But 50 Cent said it out his mouth. I felt like that tape was coming more from Puffy than it was from Cassie. Because when a woman levels up, sometimes the guy's mad and he's trying to ruin her reputation. The only thing is, 50 Cent didn't know that Puffy was so buck wild crazy, according to Cassie, that she wasn't cheating on him. That wasn't a new man. No. These were videos that Puffy wanted Cassie to make. They were his thing, which makes me think.
So basically, what 50 was thinking, what 50 was thinking caused this whole issue as far as why would you send me a video like this of her? He was thinking, oh, it's because she leveled up, and he's being petty about the level up that she did. Not knowing that this was not that. She didn't ever cheat on him. She wasn't with anyone else. This was Puffy, whatever his name is. We'll call him Puff. This was Puff making her do those things so that he could film her, making her do those things with other males so that he could film it, and so that he could exploit her and get benefits and rewards off of her exploitation.
Who was that guy in the video? Because 50 did say, you know, when she level up, I mean, Puffy ain't no bum, but when she levels up, who was in the video? Who did you think was a level up for Cassie? Who? I want to know. Oh, I see why he settled so quickly. But y'all, let's get into this complaint. Because
And whoever was in that video, if he was a level up, then it was someone even richer and even more famous than Puff. So they're all in it. And when it comes to males, this is how they flex amongst each other, even though they're all gay. So I don't really understand why they insist on dragging women into it. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's like, if you're gay, why are you insisting on dragging and harassing women into that? Why are we still your only way of flexing? So it's an industry thing. It's the way that it works. It's the norm to them, you see? Because whoever was in that video, 50 knows who it was. They showed it. It was in the video. The faces and everything were there. And whoever it was, it sounds like it was someone that was even more popular and more famous than Puff. So what does that tell you? Oh, that's the way that they live. That's the way that these wealthy people that are in the entertainment industry, it's the norm for them. That's how they live. That's how they flex, is by hating women and doing this to women.
the complaint is really what is just wild to me. It describes some ritualistic, eyes wide shut mess. It really does. Let's get into this because I actually want to read this with y'all, okay? It says, the first time Diddy hired a man and brought the man to his home in Los Angeles, the man, Diddy, and Cassie wore masquerade masks and ingested illicit substances. Diddy directed Cassie to perform blank acts on this man while Diddy watched them, right? He diddled with himself while he directed Cassie and the man to do specific blank acts. Tell me that don't sound like some Illuminati. And I don't even believe in Illuminati, but baby, Puffy gonna make me a believer. I swear to God. I used to think y'all was crazy. Like, oh, what? Man, shut up. Y'all always gotta take things so serious.
I believe in the Illuminati thing that they have going on there. You know what I believe? I believe that they are very much engaging in the meaning and the concepts behind the Illuminati. I think the Illuminati is what we as the public, it's the word that we came up with to describe what they do, to describe the behaviors and the things that they do. Okay, that's what I think. So whether you want to call it Illuminati, whether you want to call it rituals, whatever you want to call it, it ends up being the same. It ends up being the case that what we're trying to describe is the same behaviors. What we're describing is the same behaviors. All right, y'all, now check this out. Okay, I saw this one too, y'all. It's like, never have I ever. Puff has to be the most evil. And the level of evil that exists in this world, we just can't fathom. Can you fathom this level of evil? I can't fathom it. I can't fathom this level of hate. I can't fathom this level of evil. But what I do know is that it's always a male. It's usually always a male And the attacks are usually always attacking a woman. Literally 98 to 99% of the time. All right, so let's get into this, because I want us to have enough time, because it's like it's always something new. New things just keep coming up, which I'm glad and happy about, because Puff and that whole Hollywood thing, I think it just needs to be shut down. Puff is just a speck in the middle of all the nasty stuff that these people do. And if they were to do all these nasty stuff just amongst each other and not manipulate others, gaslight others, and use others in their crap, that would be one thing. But that's not what they're doing. They victimize others, they harass others, they physically and mentally harm others to a devastating point of no return. All right, let's take a look at this, y'all, because this is also crazy.
Sit down and shut the door. Young Miami has just confirmed most of Cassie's lawsuit. And baby, she did it while she was trying to clown Puffy's other woman, or as she liked to say, Puffy's munch, Gina. Y'all sit down. We are going deep into surviving Diddy. This is going to be a series, and baby, you can call this part 1. Young Miami just accidentally exposed Diddy, or at the very least, it looks like she confirmed what Cassie was saying. Y'all ready to get into this? Let's go. Okay, if you've been hiding under a rock, let me just bring you up to speed really quick, okay? Cassie, who was the ex-girlfriend of Puffy, they were together for over 10 years, came with a groundbreaking lawsuit. It is not looking good for Puffy. They are all allegations, but baby, these allegations seem to have weight. I actually got the court documents. I did a full recap of all 35 pages. The news articles do not do the gory papers justice. I'm telling you, trigger warning, but you need to watch that live. But forget all that, okay? She made a lot of claims about Puffy. She said that Puffy made her wear white nails because he liked the way that her fingers looked wrapped around dark. I don't even think I can say it right. On top of that, she said that he literally blank trafficked her, made her search for male blank workers so that he could watch her blank them. And it was all this crazy stuff. It was literally some eyes wide shut, but like on some on Taken level. You know, with Liam Neeson, Taken level, that's what it was. Again, we're not going to go through that, but woo. So a lot of people are like, what is going on? So like, he's in a voyeurism. He goes both ways. You know, Cassie or whoever the girl is in charge. And a lot of people first said, oh my God, I hope Young Miami's like, okay, right? Because that's his current girlfriend. If you read the abuse that she actually said, I firmly don't believe that people ever calm down from that level. It is literally on some like Silence of the Lambs without the lambs. Okay. So people were like, oh my God, is Young Miami okay? And Young Miami was like, you got the wrong B, everybody okay? And everybody was like, okay, so maybe he did change. But the thing is, Gina, and who's Gina? She is a permanent side John of Puffy that went on Tasha K to basically expose how Puffy had done all these things. We have an audio of that. But more importantly, Gina.
Y'all, I heard about that in a different video that I was watching earlier today. She did a whole interview exposing Puff. And I cannot believe Puff is with another girl. So they just keep going. They just keep going. It's so scary to me. When one leaves, or even while they're still there, they'll accumulate more. When one leaves, they'll replace one woman with another woman and keep the I can't say the word, but keep the harm going. Y'all.
Showed up at some award show while Young Miami was there, and they got into it. They were going back and forth on Twitter until the last few tweets that quieted Gina up. And I remember when I saw those tweets, I was like, what? And Gina just got quiet. She was everybody on mute, the Beyonce challenge, right? But the thing is, what Young Miami tweeted, even though she was trying to go in on Gina, pretty much low-key confirmed everything that is in Cassie's lawsuit. Coincidence? Maybe. Y'all, let's get into these tweets. Okay, so here's how it started, right? So it was, so Gina posted herself at the Billboard Music Awards with a caption, love, 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 hinting at her relationship with Puffy, okay? So then Young Miami she was not having it. She said, somebody please give this bee some attention. In true main chick fashion, Gina posted a pic on her Instagram story of Diddy kissing her on the cheek.
This is a perfect example. In all my videos, what do I do? What do I do and what do I say? This is what y'all fighting for? This caliber of species? You look stupid. Look at these two going back and forth back then, going back and forth for this animal. And look how ugly he is. Like, what is that? Super ugly. But look at these two airheads, these two pygmishas going back and forth for a literal animal. An animal. You see how dumb she looks? Look at how stupid she looks in this picture. Making herself look so dumb. It's like, so that's why I say always, if they cheat, if they start acting any type of funny or weird or distant, let them go. Don't sit there looking like this lady. Look at how she's looking. Look at what she was going back and forth and arguing for. This.
If anyone is seeking attention, it's you. Now get this, the feud boiled over on Twitter when Miami fired off tweets about someone who's been around for years, needing to lay low. She called Gina a freaky AB and shaded a cheap A limp ball carpet. I remember that. Gina does have old...
How idiotic do these two females look fighting each other? If you all haven't watched my video where I talk about men have 100% blame when men cheat, who's to blame? I made a whole video about it. I will link it to this video. And I said, are y'all dumb? Or are you just like pretending to be? When you say things like, oh, it's 50% her fault, 50% his fault. Are you even using the brain that God gifted us with? It's 100% his fault if he cheats. There's no splitting of the blame because the other woman that he cheated with doesn't even know you and doesn't have a reason to really care. He's 100% to blame. There's no 50% on this side, 50% your fault, 50% her fault. No, that's why they definitely don't even hesitate in repeating the behavior. And then on top of that, and I addressed this in this video too, your dumb self goes and starts fighting with the other woman. not realizing how idiotic you look. You see these two fighting over Puff, a literal human trafficker, allegedly. But this is what you're insulting each other over. This is what you're fighting over.
Carpet on her floors. And I'm like, how are you dating a billionaire? But you got like, you know, it just wasn't giving what it was supposed to give. So I assumed, of course, that Gina was either clout chasing, lying, or whatever. But y'all, Gina actually went on Tasha K after this, and she shared.
Look at how she looks. Look at how Gina looks. She's very attractive. I don't think that's clout chasing. You know, there's something there. You know, there's something there.
Shared some crazy information. But first, let's get into the tweets that Young Miami might have really, I don't know, screwed Puffy over. Because again, it's just too analogous. Let's get into this. All right, so here we go. So if you don't remember, Young Miami escalated the feud. She tweeted back-to-back random, and Gina was going hard at her like, yeah, you know, that's mine, this and that. They were going back and forth. But listen to what Young Miami tweeted that shut her up. She said, if I wanted you to eat my blankety blank, Diddy would have had you on your knees. Ho, ho, ho. You a eater. Now, when she first said that, I was like, ooh, that's so disrespectful. And I thought she was just being braggadocious. But Cassie, in her lawsuits,
she said braggadocious. It's braggadocious. But yeah, you see how idiotic they look fighting with each other? This is what I try to tell you ladies. This is how you look. When a male cheats on you and you start fighting with the other woman, you look stupid, like epically dumb. Like you have to be the dumbest person on earth to exhibit that behavior. He cheated on you, but you fighting the woman. He cheated on you. He made vows with you. He broke his promises to you. But you split the blame and you given 50% of the blame to her. Can we use our discernment, please? Can we use our brains, please? So this is what I'm saying, ladies. No. If he cheats, he takes 100% of the blame. That's his fault. That's his problem. You leave. You leave him. If you don't like it, if you can't deal with it, the fact that he cheated with giving him 100% of the blame, you're out. But there's no split in blames. It's obvious who is to blame 100%. And when you fight with the woman, you end up looking like these two airheads fighting for a literal human mental and physical harmer. The most evil, this is one of the most evil individuals I have ever heard of. This guy, the level, I haven't heard of this level of evil in such a long time. It's the level of evil that you hear about, and just by hearing about it, you can't sleep. I can't sleep. It's going to take me hours to decompress and try to get some of that toxicity out of me just from what I've heard about this animal. But yeah, you both go arguing with each other, looking like you look ridiculous, thirsty, and unintelligent. That's what you look like when you do this type of thing. He cheats on you, now you arguing and trying to hit the other woman. Is there something, is this working?
Said that Diddy coerced her and kept her high on everything, right? Everything. And coerced her to engage in relations that she did not want to, forcing her to please him. She was forced to be with guys. She was forced to this. And he literally made her order out of a catalog of male blank workers to actually, and he liked black men blank workers that were strong like bull. Interestingly enough, she also had to always have white fingernails because he loved the way her white fingernails wrapped around his presence. And she had to have these things called freak offs once a week. You know what I'm saying? So when I read that, I was like, wait. Before I thought Miami was being braggadocious, but she is literally saying that Diddy, either by mental coercion or sometimes by force people to basically act as his little toys and pass around. Get this. She said, you want a baby bee? I have a career, ho. You a certified freak. You haven't heard from Diddy since the awards, reminiscing on getting rid of babies. Let that hurt go, okay? Again, she said you a certified freak. This is kind of pretty much solidifying that the freak-offs, is what Cassie called them, actually do exist. She said, Gina, you've been down bad ever since I came in.
Yeah, they definitely exist. At least I believe that they do. So they definitely exist, allegedly. I've got to say that. But I think there's enough that's coming out to where we can reasonably be sure that everything that's being said about this animal is true. Allegedly. So, ladies, I need you to understand that it doesn't take $1 million to live a comfortable life. You don't need $1 million to be comfortable, to be stress-free. So if you're seeing that this is the type of deal that someone's coming to you with, I wouldn't recommend it. And then you're fighting your fellow women for this. Someone with an inferiority complex. The whole white nails thing is giving me slavery vibes. So someone with a slave mentality that's desperate for Caucasian validation.
Into the picture. You've been crying for a baby for 10 years, and you've been around as a bee that eat cat and
you see the insensitive things she's saying? She doesn't even realize, I don't think she realizes that she's saying these things to this other woman, and this other woman, from the interview that she did, and we'll cover that in the next video, but from the interview that this other woman did, she got pregnant by Puff twice. And twice he made her get rid of it. Allegedly, from what she said in her interview. But here you come, trying to hit below the belt and be mean and fighting over a Neanderthal, literal Neanderthal, saying things like, oh, you've been wanting a kid so bad, this and that, not understanding what this animal has done and what he's capable of.
dong. When he feel like it, you are an eater. You the same bee that was crying on Tasha K because you wanted a baby. This is what she said. Does that not sound like what Cassie said Diddy also forced her to do? She's basically confirming, at least if I read it right, or at least it's analogous, that these freak-offs actually did exist. And more importantly, as she said to Gina, and she might have been braggalicious, but if Puffy wanted Gina to be at the service of Young Miami, Gina would have to do it whether she wanted to or not, because at that time they were going back and forth. So there is no way that Gina would have wanted to do that. Is this not feeding in and confirming the way Cassie was like, I was his toy and he made me do stuff against my will? Y'all, but it's more, right? And get this, in the interviews with Tasha K, I'm talking about Gina now. Gina did interviews with Tasha K. She described the same type of abuse that Cassie outlined. And get this, Cassie, that's how long Gina's been around. Gina said Cassie actually reached out to her to make sure she was okay. Literally, she reached out to her to make sure she was okay. Hold on, let's get into this. Let me play the audio.
When he was with Cassie.
Yeah.
So could you explain to me how this came to be and what made you stay even though he was with Cassie? What was he telling you?
When I first met Puff, I did not find him I didn't like him like that.
Okay.
That's important to note because Cassie,
He's not attractive. She was going to say, I did not find him attractive, girl, because he ugly. Look at that. He is like beyond ugly. Just call it what it is. I didn't find him attractive. He does not look good to me. He looks homeless. Like, how are you that rich and you still look like this? Like a homeless person. It's my opinion. He looked like a hobo.
Cassie says in her lawsuit that she wasn't feeling Puffy either. Apparently, he really, really likes to chase. Note, if anybody wants Puffy, you better play hard to get. Now, whoever said, I'll play hard to get, that was a test and you failed. You better play get away from me. Again, go watch my video with that 35 page. Stay away from Puffy, if any of this is true. Even if this is only a fraction true, you better run.
Eventually, he grew on me.
And you knew about Cassie?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, did Cassie know about you? Is the question.
She did. She knew about me 4 months into the relationship.
Yo, he literally was playing musical
chairs. And how did you find out about that, Cassie knowing about you?
Because she reached out to me.
Oh, she did?
Mm-hmm.
What did she say?
Basically, she just said to just leave him alone.
And you should have listened.
But she reached out to me a few times after that, and she was never.
I don't understand it because these women, at least Cassie, Puffy's ex, who supposedly died of pneumonia, but we know better here in the independent Pretty Girlies group. They actually look out for each other because they have experienced this evil individual. So even though Diddy's ex, the one that was before Cassie, actually did the same thing with Cassie and reached out to Cassie and warned her and said, don't do it, it didn't help. Cassie still moved forward with it. And now Cassie is doing the same thing, or did the same thing with her. Didn't help. She's still here arguing with another woman over this animal. So ladies, this is where education comes in, especially when you're young, because they target the young ones. The younger you are, the more of a target you will be, because they know you just don't have enough life experience. But if you can at least know and remember the logic, what's logical, that doesn't really change like that. doesn't change. If he cheats on you, if he does something to you, he's 100% to blame. You don't split the blame, especially not with someone that doesn't even know you or didn't make any commitments to you, or you don't split the blame. If you can remember that and stick to that boundary, you will be 10 times safer when it comes to having to deal with these males. Honestly, it's a boundary that keeps you safe. Because think about what's happening when you say, oh, it was her fault too. It was her fault too. Because you're looking for an out so that you can stay with someone that could give two craps about you. But if you give him 100% of the blame, so you're not cutting the blame in half for him, guess what you're most likely to do? Leave. Because that means he caused 100% of that pain. And there is a high chance that your psychology, your mental, won't be able to get past that. And by default, it protects you. Because then, hopefully, you're more likely to end up leaving. You see how that works?
Like nasty to me. She didn't call me names or nothing. She was always nice. I don't know if it was fake or not, but she was always nice.
Okay. What was your response?
I will say Gina got a soothing voice.
She told me, like, the last time I spoke to her, which was like a couple years ago, she told me, she was like, she called me at like 4 in the morning and was like, hey, I just had a dream and I just wanted to call you and tell you that I don't hate you. I don't have bad blood towards you or anything like that.
I'm not gonna lie, I really like Gina's voice. She sounds like such a sweet person. We know Cassie is a sweetheart, and you know what? Young Miami, you know, she a sweetheart too, even though, you know, she always on her city girls up, and we're big fans of Young Miami. Now, here's the thing. I am not implying that Young Miami got her fingernails white like Cassie, because you know that's a style now, right? Cassie had to keep them white back then when nobody's wearing white nail polish. I'm not implying at all that Young Miami is a victim of Puffy's paws, because Young Miami said, we don't got to worry about her. She is well protected. So you know what? Fine. I am saying that I do think that this argument with Gina exposed something that I don't think Puffy's lawyers would want to get out. That he does coerce women to do stuff against their will. And they do it because of whatever. I'm not saying Miami has anything to do with it, but yo, this ain't good. I really think from like a battle of two egos, this basically exposed that there was some truth to what's going on with Puffy. And on top of that, just like he never thought Cassie would be the one to bring him down. Maybe he never thought Gina would be the one to bring him down either. Y'all,
you know he never thought that Cassie would be the one to bring him down. No one would have seen that coming. We woke up one day and the lawsuit was all over the news. And it was from the person we would least expect it from, Cassie. Now there's another video where it sounds like someone's hinting at the fact that Cassie might have started planning this maybe a few years ago due to allegedly the advice that she received from Diddy's ex, whom he allegedly was also physically harming and mentally harming in the same ways. So allegedly, Diddy tried to silence her by taking his ex, his ex before Cassie, off of this earth. But now we're seeing that didn't quite work. Now, did it? Doesn't seem like it worked. Seems like she's still very much here, and she played it really well. So even from the grave, Puff has got to go. He's got to go. Let me see if I can find it and show y'all what I'm talking about here. It's astonishing. It's literally astonishing. Yeah, right here. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Y'all, it's been a crazy day. I hope it just keeps escalating. I really hope it keeps escalating. I really hope more keeps coming out, because Puff, jail is not enough. At this point, it's like jail is not enough. Because, I mean, on top of everything, he already gay. So it's almost like putting him in heaven, or he already gay allegedly. So it would almost be like putting him in heaven, right? Jail would not be enough punishment for such an evil, evil spirit.
I will advocate for you. Because, see, I know something that a lot of people don't know. I know that you and Kim Porter had a sit down right before she left us.
We decided to do the book because I'm not a rapper, obviously, or anything like that. But I've been in the business and been around the business.
Some of the things in the book cover Diddy's gay relationships, footage of those encounters, the men he slept with, STDs, Diddy giving Usher an STD, and the explosive encounter between Diddy and Usher's mom, Mary J. Blige being pregnant by Diddy, and of course, she had an AB, the beatings Kim took, pushing him down the steps in 2007, and him breaking his foot.
Jaguar Wright has broken her silence.
I'm glad she pushed him down the stairs at least, and he broke his foot. Mary J. Blige getting pregnant by Diddy. Don't go to Hollywood. Don't even go to LA. It's not worth it. It goes even deeper than we could ever imagine. It's like, where did Mary J. Blige even come from? It goes even deeper than we could ever imagine. I have a feeling this isn't even surface level of what happens over there. I have a feeling this isn't even anything.
On Diddy settling his lawsuit with Cassie, and she claims Cassie knows what Diddy did to his ex, Kim Porter, when she tried to expose him. For years now, rumors have been swirling that Diddy had Kim Porter eliminated because she was planning to write a tell-all book, and several people who worked for Diddy claimed that they witnessed Diddy putting his hands on Kim.
When they were at home at Kim's house on 110th Street, he wanted to, put his hands on her in the wrong way.
And then Jaguar Wright directly accused Diddy of heinous crimes, including allegedly poisoning Kim Porter. And isn't it interesting how Diddy never tried to sue Jaguar for defamation? Well, Jaguar's back, and she revealed in a new interview that Kim warned Cassie about Diddy shortly before she died, and that Cassie knows exactly why Kim is no longer with us. So could Cassie's lawsuit lead to an investigation?
Yeah, that's what I was telling y'all. Kim warned Cassie about Puff shortly before her demise. She sowed the seed. So he's thinking just because she's not here physically, see, he's too evil. He didn't even see this coming. He probably didn't see this coming, because I guarantee you the ego of these type of people, it's not on a level that we could even comprehend. He's older now. I guarantee you he never would have thought or imagined that that this would be happening to him, what's happening right now. And even more so, the person that started it all, Cassie, he never would have imagined. But I think that Kim did this. I think that when Kim talked to her, that last conversation, and maybe even the previous conversations, she was coaching Cassie through this ordeal in order to help keep Cassie safe. So things like, make sure to take pictures every time he hits you, every time you end up with bruises, make sure to take pictures and document everything. So I know Cassie has a lot more. Make sure to send subliminals, maybe like that post where she was all bruised and she posted it on social media, because he'll never catch it and you can just try to act like you don't know what happened. I think Kim coached her in preparation for helping Cassie get out of the situation that she found herself in with Puff. I think Kim told her, this is what you do. You have to speak out on it, because Kim, remember, was in the middle of writing a tell-all book. And I'm willing to bet that she also meant to use that as an insurance policy for her. But then she never got to release the book. But I'm willing to bet she also meant to use that primarily as an insurance policy for herself. And I'm willing to bet that she was coaching Cassie on how to do the same thing without ever letting him know. Now, these are just my thoughts, just from putting the puzzles together and the pieces together. But I am rarely wrong when it comes to these type of things. I'm telling you, I'm rarely wrong. I'm usually either spot on or just about spot on. But these are just my thoughts based on connecting the dots.
Into Kim Porter's death? And what exactly did Kim tell Cassie in their last conversation?
And I know Kim had some very good advice to give you. And I believe that this is why things are happening as they're happening now.
Just 24 hours after Cassie filed an explosive lawsuit against
This is why things are happening as they're happening now. Because the interactions that she had with Kim was probably coaching her. Kim was probably telling her, because Cassie, as young as she was, Kim was probably telling her, take pictures, keep the text message, take the screenshots. And when you finally make it out, make sure to go public with it, because that will keep you even safer. I'm willing to bet, y'all,
Diddy, accusing him of DV, SA, and trafficking, they settled the suit for an undisclosed amount.
Disgusting. So he would he had sexually transmitted diseases, because unfortunately that's just what happens when males get with other males. They contract all type of diseases, but that's the risk that they take. There's nothing that women can do about that. And what irks me is when they decide that it's appropriate to lie to women and drag us into that mess. Like, we don't care if you're gay, but leave us out of it. Be honest with us. We don't want to be part of that. And for the very small number of women that might, at least give them the chance to choose. But no. He was gay. He even gave Usher. He gave, apparently, from what this is saying, he gave Usher a sexually contracted disease.
However, this just made Diddy look even more guilty, because after Cassie filed, Diddy's lawyer publicly accused her of trying to blackmail Diddy. And yet, just hours later, Diddy suddenly decided to pay up. See, Diddy literally never pays anyone. It took him over 30 years to pay his former artists, so there's definitely more here than meets the eye. He didn't put any effort to clear his name, and instead, he immediately put a lid on Cassie's lawsuit, which can only mean one thing: there has to be more that he's hiding. Now, something that a lot of people were confused about is why Cassie agreed to settle. Well, she didn't have any other option. She filed a civil lawsuit, which means settlement was the only possible outcome. Only the government, aka a prosecutor, can file cases in criminal court, so it's up to them to open a criminal investigation against Diddy. But this was actually a really smart move on Cassie's part, because her lawyers used trafficking as the foundation of her lawsuit, which means they left the door wide open for criminal and federal charges to be brought against Diddy. It was also smart that Cassie refused to settle privately with Diddy before filing a lawsuit, because by making it public, she protected herself and her family. Plus, for a high-profile lawyer to have even touched this case means Cassie's evidence was real and compelling. Now, speaking of evidence, many things are starting to surface online, including this video of Cassie curled up on the floor under a blanket while Diddy taunts her.
What you gotta say now? You ain't got shit to say when you put your girl on the snap.
Also, Cassie's old selfie recently resurfaced, showing her with a busted lip and trauma to her head. Cassie shared this photo in 2014 during a trip to Dubai with Diddy, and at that time, blogs reported she had an accident while riding an ATV. But this isn't what her face would look like after an ATV accident. Instead, it looks like one of the incidents she describes in her lawsuit. Now, a lot of people are saying this story is scarily similar to what happened to Kim Porter, Diddy's ex-girlfriend who died under mysterious circumstances in 2018.
Under mysterious circumstances. I don't believe that they were mysterious at all. I completely agree with her taking that settlement, y'all. Like in my previous video, if you haven't watched it, watch it after this video that I did on the Cassie and Puff case when she first slapped them with the lawsuit, and when she settled. I talked about it in that video, and I said, look, it makes sense to me why she would settle. She didn't settle for the 30 million, but it must have been 9 figures for her to settle. And if you think about it, it makes sense. This is a move that her lawyers probably recommended. Because like they just broke it down, just because they settled in this small court, it doesn't mean that they can't bring it up in a criminal case. And it doesn't mean they can't bring it up in other cases. Now, I don't know what they signed as a part of the settlement, but I don't think that you can sign away your rights to bring up a criminal case against someone that you believe is a criminal, especially if we're talking about trafficking. I don't believe that. I would be shocked if that were protected under the, I mean, I've been shocked before, but I'd be shocked if that were protected under the law. So she absolutely did the smartest thing she could have done. I don't think that they saw it coming. I don't think that I don't think that even they knew that he was going to try to settle so fast and that he was probably going to offer 9 figures. And I'm saying 9 figures because that's what I believe happened based on just all the information that has come out so far on this case. I don't think that Cassie or her team really anticipated that it was going to go quite like that. But it was such a smart move for her to settle because Diddy is probably richer than her. And when you're doing a case like this, you know, it can escalate quickly. Your costs will escalate. Your lawyer fees will escalate. Okay. You know, more than half the internet, I think, is on her side, but you'll always have the subset that want to bring her down even further. Her life will be all out there. More and more gruesome things that this animal made her do will probably come out to the light. There's all these things that come with that territory. And then at the end, and it could drag on for years. And then at the end of the day, the lawsuit is for financial compensation in the first place, because again, it's not a criminal case, right? It's not in the bigger courts. It was monetary. So I believe that she made the right decision for herself, because she actually hit two birds with one stone. The story isn't going away. Actually, I believe that Puff is currently being investigated for some other things, some other criminal things right now as well. And I don't even think she knew the impact that this would make, but I think she probably had a pretty good idea because of the amount of detail. She went in and put all of this detail in that lawsuit. So it really seems to me like the main reason for making this move for her, especially now, because, you know, the term for doing it is expiring. The term for speaking up was expiring. The NDA had recently expired, I believe. She needed some protection, and she's with someone new. And she probably knows that Diddy has a history of harming people and taking them out of this world by evil means. So she needed some protection. And I'm willing to bet that was one of the main, if not the main reason why she chose to do this now and why she had to do it. Quite frankly, she had to do it. So the point was in the exposure. That was the point. The exposure.
To give you some context, Diddy and Kim dated on and off from 1994 to 2007, and during one of their splits, Kim started seeing Shakir Stewart, who worked at Def Jam. Diddy reportedly became furious after learning about Kim and Shakir, which led to a heated argument during which Kim sustained a broken nose. Most of the reports about this incident have been scrubbed from the internet. However, there is one article published in 2005 that references the altercation, saying that Kim was left with a broken nose after the couple argued on Combs' yacht in Saint-Tropez. The article states that Combs flew in a specialist plastic surgeon from Geneva after the accident, and that Porter has since claimed that she hurt her face after she banged her nose on a table. But it gets even more disturbing from here. On November 1st, 2008, Shakir Stewart was found dead in his Atlanta home, having suffered a gunshot wound. According to the official ruling, he took his own life.
So Shakir was found dead. Kim came shortly after. I'm convinced that Puff is what evil looks like physically. He's the complete embodiment of evil. But the scariest part is that I fully believe that there are more like him. And they all stay in Hollywood and in the same job areas. Singers, actors, entertainment industry. That's the scariest part, is just knowing that there are several more like him. The embodiment of evil, literally just walking around.
However, it didn't take long before rumors started circulating there was foul play involved. People started pointing fingers at Diddy, and one source confirmed to Media Takeout that Diddy had previously beaten up Shakir badly. The source said Kim was seeing Shakir and Diddy found out, and he went ape. He tracked Shakir down to his hotel. Then Diddy went up there without security and beat him to a bloody pulp. Now, as for Kim, she passed away on November 15, 2018, supposedly from complications of pneumonia. However, she was just 47 years old, and there's no evidence she had any underlying conditions.
A shocked and devastated Diddy spotted at the home where his ex suddenly and mysteriously died. Her good friend Kimora Lee Simmons appearing inconsolable at the house. 47-year-old Porter's body found after a desperate call to 911.
I know Kamari Simmons probably knows exactly what happened. I know she does. That's probably why that's probably part of why she was so devastated. She knew. That's what I think anyway.
MS-14 respond with engine 76 on scene of the cardiac arrest.
Of course, many people thought this was highly suspicious, and one of them was Kim's ex-husband, Al B. Sure. In July 2020, Al shared a since-deleted video of himself and wrote, "I just found this footage from the morning I learned of Kim Porter's murder and how it ripped the soul from my physical body. I do know very clearly that Kimberly didn't just check out all of a sudden over pneumonia." Al B. also added the hashtag, "Don't let the love songs fool you," seemingly referencing Diddy's tributes to Kim. And then in November 2021, Al B. posted a throwback photo with Kim and claimed she told him she was running and he advised her to call the FBI. Al B. also added in the comments, "You would never believe what she went through." And get this, just months after he posted this, Al B. was hospitalized with multiple organ failure and spent 2 months in a coma. He managed to pull through, however, he's been very silent since then and stopped mentioning Kim in public. However, Jaguar Wright is not staying silent, and back in December, she told Real Life Productions that Kim's initial autopsy showed she was poisoned.
Kim died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said that she died. It was ruled a homicide, and they found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. You know, they have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia-like symptoms.
Jaguar also claimed that all these people who dealt with Diddy and then died or got sick were planning to release tell-all books and documentaries.
Andre was writing a book right before he died. Heavy D was working on a book before he died. Kim Porter was working on a book before she died. And Al B. Sure was working on the documentary of his life. And then he goes into a coma.
Jaguar is now speaking out again, and in a new interview with Storm Monroe, she offered her support to Cassie and claimed that Cassie knows what happened to Kim because Kim warned her about Diddy before she died.
I will advocate for you. Because see, I know something that a lot of people don't know. I know that you and Kim Porter had a sit down right before she left us. And I know Kim had some very good advice to give you. And I believe that this is why things are happening as they're happening now. Kim was smart, wasn't she, Cassie? Kept you alive and kept you safe. I will advocate for you. I went to fuck honeycomb. But you are a victim. And I know that. Congratulations on surviving and congratulations on standing up.
And the timeline is definitely interesting because Kim died just weeks after Cassie and Diddy broke up in October 2018. So maybe Kim told Cassie something in their last conversation that made her finally leave Diddy for good. It's also interesting that Cassie filed her lawsuit on November 16th and Kim died on November 15th. It's almost like Cassie was sending a message about that conversation she had with Kim. Oh, and by the way, the same day Diddy settled the lawsuit with Cassie, Kim Porter's Wikipedia page disappeared. It looks like Diddy's PR team is working overtime, but it might be too late because the floodgates are open, and fans are saying Diddy's final downfall is only a matter of time at this point. One fan said, "Cassie came out to protect herself. We all saw what happened to Kim Porter. She made it public so he couldn't do his evil Machiavelli shit. The floodgates are now open. We suspected for years. Diddy is not coming back from this. Good. Effing weirdo." And another fan wrote, "Diddy knows his time is coming. He's been getting away with stuff for too long. Kim is probably smiling down on Cassie finally speaking out." But what are your thoughts on Jaguar Wright saying Diddy poisoned Kim?
Kim definitely. She's still here. See, he thought that he had succeeded in silencing her. Joke's on him. Joke's on him. And if you see the body language of those people that are speaking, the emotion and the intensity behind it, the truth is probably way worse than we could ever even fathom. What we're hearing probably doesn't even scratch the surface. That amount of emotion, especially when she says she protected you and kept you safe. Wasn't she smart? She was so smart, wasn't she? My heart, literally. Anyways, y'all, this has been mentally exhausting and honestly emotionally draining. And Puff, jail is not enough. It's not enough. I want to see him literally sacrificed at the stakes. Because I believe all of it. All of it. I believe all of it. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what y'all think about this. It's insane. And we'll definitely keep covering the story. It's like there's always something new. I can't take my eyes off for even a second. We can't take our eyes off for even a second. But the nature of males is playing right in front of us. This is their true nature, ladies. This is their true nature. So don't fight each other for this. All right, leave a comment below, subscribe, let me know what your thoughts are, let me know what you think, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.